Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. We're going to talk a little more about Doctor Who Series 11 starring Jodie Whittaker, and we're going to talk about Christmas. Yes, apparently they're going to have a Doctor Who Christmas special, and this is it. This is it. The BBC put this out a couple of days ago. I had to share this with everybody. This is the Doctor Who Christmas special. Oh my god. It's really cheesy. This is what happens when Doctor Who runs out of money, because apparently they're not putting as much money into Doctor Who as they used to. Wow. Anyway, so I hope you are all having a happy holiday season, regardless of whatever you're celebrating this time of year. There will be a new Doctor Who, I guess, on New Year's. We're not getting the Christmas special. Instead, we get this wonderful animated thing going on here. Yeah. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about the final numbers, and we're going to talk about the audience reaction to Doctor Who Series 11, and it's not good. I guess that's as polite as I can be. It's not good. So let's rip the Band-Aid off and go right into the final ratings for the season. Now, this does not take into consideration the New Year's special, which has not debuted yet. But again, you can see this overall downward trend. Now, it's going to be really hard for Doctor Who, any Doctor Who series, to consistently hit over 10 million. A lot of people tuned in just to see what Whittaker's Doctor would be like. And but you can see they sort of started tuning out. Now, people kept telling me that there was going to be an upswing, that everything dipped in the middle and there was going to be an upswing at the end. And there was a little tiny uptick at the end, but not much. So we ended up going from almost 11 million down to about 6.5 million with the audience score, the audience appreciation score. I guess that's what that is. Audience index kind of declining too. Now, look, that is kind of a problem. The ratings drop is kind of a problem because it clearly tells me that people were getting bored of the show or tuning out for whatever reason. I mean, personally, and I've said before, and I will say it again because people keep twisting my words. I don't mind Jodie Whittaker. I don't mind a woman being in the TARDIS. That is not my issue. My issue is the show is boring. And I think I got to about episode 6 before I basically said, yeah, I'm out. I'm not interested. I might go back and check out the other episodes. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it this season. So of course, the friendly media, the friendly media has to put a positive spin on this because they cannot admit that people don't like this series of Doctor Who. This is coming from We Got This Covered. Doctor Who Season 11 scores the show's highest ratings in 8 years. 27% of people think it's freaking hilarious that they think that. A month or so ago, people were beginning to get out the knives for Jodie Whittaker's debut as the 13th Doctor in Doctor Who. I never got out the knives. I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't get out the knives. Right-wing British tabloids claimed the ratings had plunged, explaining that viewers were being turned off by the belief that the show had become painfully politically correct. And of course, the less savory elements of the Doctor Who fandom seized upon this as validation for their stale arguments that the Doctor should only ever be played by a man. Actually, again, I want to reiterate, most of the comments we've gotten on our videos anyway has said that they don't mind a woman being in the TARDIS, provided the Doctor is played by the right person and that the show is not boring, which it is right now. And other people feel that the Doctor should only be played by a man. And you know what? They are entitled to that opinion. They can have that opinion. They are allowed to have that opinion. The character has been male for over 50 years. There's nothing wrong with that opinion. Well, it's looking as though Whittaker are going to have the last laugh now, as the average viewership for the full 10 episodes of season 11 is in, and it's 7.7 million viewers. Oh yeah, because it was skewed by the first episode, obviously. These figures include those who watched the show as it was being broadcast, as well as those who watched it on catch-up up to 7 days later. Should go without saying, but 7.7 million is pretty impressive and makes this latest run of Doctor Who the most successful season in terms of average viewership since Matt Smith's inaugural outing back in 2010. Yeah, I'm not going to argue that, and we can actually look at the numbers, and that is clearly the case. The show peaked during the 50th. It peaked during the 50th, and it's kind of been on the decline since then. I don't think anybody's arguing that. As well as eclipsing David Tennant's second season as the Doctor, obviously season 11's average was helped by the gargantuan ratings for the premiere, which netted, yes, it was skewed heavily because of the almost 11 million people who watched it, with the following episodes ending up gradually declining. But however you slice it, always look on the bright side of life. This is an unambiguous success for the show, and the BBC will no doubt be very happy with its new direction. Coming from Screen Rant, Doctor Who ratings are highest since 2010. Not going to read the whole article, but I will point this out. Whittaker's debut run was largely well received by both fans and critics, and the actress herself attracted plenty of acclaim for her performance as the iconic Time Lord. Well, here we go. Here we go. Well received by critics, yes. Well received by the audience, no. And before you say, hey, Rotten Tomatoes isn't accurate, yes, I completely agree that Rotten Tomatoes can sometimes not be accurate, especially if people are trying to either artificially inflate a show's or a movie's ratings, or they're trying to tank it for whatever reason. However, we look at other situations like the Netflix She-Ra show, which, has a ridiculous 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, but did not receive a certified fresh sticker, by the way. And its audience score was low like this, and then Tumblr caught a whiff, and it went up to like 75%. So let's take a look here and see what people are actually saying about Doctor Who Series 11. I would throw some of these out because there's nothing being said, but this one, half a star. If they cast Missy as a new Doctor and backed up with good writing, and there's no agenda, I would have loved this series. Doctor Who, but instead of cool aliens, we get toothpaste, feminism, and gender politics. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, was very excited for the start of a brand new era of the show, but I have to say the series has been terrible. The cast are wonderful. Jodie is clearly trying her best with the scripts she's being given, but the series lacks any excitement that the show used to bring. I agree with you. It's just sad. Daniel, the latest season of the world's greatest fantasy show promised so much, whilst delivered a run which was never more than mediocre at best. It's a complete joke. Bad rating doesn't make me a bigot or... Yeah, here we go. A bad rating doesn't make me a bigot or racist or sexist. It just means I found the season a massively wasted opportunity. Why go for radical casting but ruin it with poor continuity, boring storylines, and a limp direction? Thank you. That is actually how I feel, although I might give it a little more than half a star. That is how I feel. The ratings are actually dropping on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, we actually had a viewer give a shout out to Roman, who has actually sent us his chart. His chart of, you can see where the Doctor Who seasons fall. So thank you, Roman, for this. Season 1 was 84%. I mean, look, Doctor Who may be doing better with the ratings than the last couple of seasons, but it's not doing good with audience score at all. Even season 10, which was not great, had a 73% audience score. I mean, we're talking 31%. It's actually lower than that now. It's at 30%. I mean, clearly there is an issue. There is an issue here. Now, again, if you want to talk just pure ratings, again, this chart comes from Roman. Thank you, Roman, so much for sending this over. You can see that they are correct, that on average, this season of Doctor Who is doing better than the last few seasons. That's not really saying much. Capaldi's era was not that popular compared to Matt Smith and David Tennant's, although I actually like Capaldi just fine. I think, again, it was a case of we had a brilliant Doctor who didn't have enough to work with, and the show kind of got stale. It went from being must-see TV for me to I'll get to it when I get to it. probably about halfway through season 9. I just really kind of stopped caring that much. But we can see that, yeah, it is true what they're saying, that the ratings on average. But again, you have that big spike, which sort of offsets everything. Now, this chart actually ends with the Witchfinders, and the last couple episodes were actually down further. So now we're actually kind of getting down into Capaldi era again. I mean, we're not going to hit the heights that Smith and Tennant had. I don't think the next series, unless they really pick it up, is really going to hit these heights again. They're not into it. They're not into this incarnation of the Doctor. Again, they can do a course correction. But they have to stop being so damn stubborn and realize that a lot of the audience just doesn't care for it. It doesn't make them a bigot. It doesn't make them a racist. It doesn't make them a sexist, like the commenter on Rotten Tomatoes said. It just means they don't like the direction of the show for whatever reason. And a lot of it just comes down to pure boredom. People being tired of being told what to think about the new show. It's actually leading to more backlash. So we will see where Doctor Who goes from here. Hopefully it does better in season 12, but I'm not really holding out hope. Not with Chibnall in charge. So please subscribe to Clownfish TV for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming videos, art videos, and more. This has been Neon. If I don't talk to you before then, have a fantastic holiday, Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate. Have a good one. Goodbye.